So the question then came up, having decided that I would like to do this. The question then was, okay, so uh, how are you going to produce this bootable operating system on a USB stick? Um, so the first thing is that this obviously has to be quite a small operating system. The one that I've selected will run on an 8 GB USB stick, which is available at relatively low cost. Um, the second thing would be that it would have to be somewhat user friendly, at least have a graphical windowing interface. And the third thing was that it would have to be persistent. And what that means is um, that if you boot it up and you make some changes and then you shut it down, that those changes will persist after you've shut it down. So the next time you start up, you will retain your settings. That may seem a little bit obvious, but um, in the world of what are called live CDs or live distros, basically that they're not persistent, and that wouldn't be very useful to us. So what I found was a distribution called Porteus Linux, which is pretty much ideal for this because it is very compact. It will provide a graphical interface. It's not the prettiest or most user friendly, but for the limited use that we have, it's certainly suitable. And the most important thing is that it is persistent. So to give you an idea of where that persistence is useful, one of the things that I have set it up to do is that when it boots, it will immediately launch the browser, and within the browser, it will bring up uh, three three URLs. It will bring up speed test. It will bring up a uh, a JavaScript benchmark and another one. I think it's probably the portal. So that's the advantage of persistence. The other thing is that we do have to have proxy settings in it, and we would like those proxy settings to be retained from boot to boot. It isn't going to be domain joined, so you have to actually put in a password, sorry, a username and password in order for it to successfully connect to the proxy, and those are also retained uh, from boot to boot and through persistence. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work through how you could get started using Porteus Linux. Um, Basically, you're going to need a USB stick, possibly several if your intention would be to boot up multiple devices for testing purposes. So, for example, if you're a network services tech or a school tech and a teacher's having a problem, she might point to five devices in the room which are not connecting, and you might want to walk over to each one of those five and boot them with this USB stick and demonstrate that they're all fine. Um, a little complication is that I use Linux every day, and therefore it was very easy for me to get this set up for myself. But I realized that I needed to figure out what you would have to do if Windows was your standard desktop operating system and you wanted to build this Porteus USB stick and also to be able to maintain it. Because what I really want to be able to do is for me to be able to provide image updates so that, for example, if I add new tools into my Porteus build, that I can just tell you guys, hey, download this new image file and then push that out to your USB sticks, and I would generate a video explaining what the new tool was and how you could use it. So I need a system whereby I can easily distribute this revised or updated image, and that you can easily update your USB sticks to it.